Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Business Growth Made Easy podcast. I am your host, Maria Fontana, your favorite business consultant and growth strategist. And I am here with the iconic Sue Pemberton, who has really honored me today with her presence. Hi, Sue. Thanks for coming.
Thank you, Maria. I'm so excited to be here.
I am excited to have you too. I've been following Sue my whole career. I remember, when I was a young hairstylist, just starting my business. I opened my first business at 19 years old. And I've looked up to you for a long time in your journey. Why don't you tell our amazing audience, who are all salon professionals globally, a little bit about yourself? I'm sure everyone knows who you are, but if they don't, you can tell them a little bit about yourself so they can be more enlightened and really get a feel for the juicy stuff they're going to get from us today.
Yeah, well, I have quite a substantial history because fortunately for me, I worked for a manufacturer, and by working for a manufacturer, I got to learn, the manufacturing side of it, as in marketing, sales, the way marketing works, sales works, education, and how the R&D, research and development, and all that kind of good stuff. So not only have I been a hairdresser behind the chair for, I didn't say, not saying, I started at 16, we'll leave it at that. So quite a few decades. I'm only 36, no, I'm kidding.
Oh, me too.
Yeah. But so I've been doing hair. I've worked behind the chair. I'm originally from England. I came to America at 21, got all my licenses, California, Nevada, and I started working for a manufacturer as the color person. So fortunately for me, I worked with a chemist. I formulated a line. I then went and launched the line. And I worked with education, marketing and sales, R&D, and I worked with everything. So not only did I learn the behind the chair and the artistry of hair, I also learned the manufacturing side and how corporate runs corporate world. So I feel very fortunate because I have a lot of knowledge from my years in history that I like to share with stylists.
And not to forget, you are an award-winning stylist. I mean, you've made iconic movements in our industry in the past 25 years. I mean, that you're kind of playing it down how iconic you really are and how amazing you are, right?
Well, I just consider myself just a hairdresser.
You're so humble, but you are amazing. So let's go ahead.
What I mean about that is that I'm a hairdresser. I'm a person who has passion for hair color and hair, and I am a hairdresser. I just happen to love my craft and be very passionate about hair color. I could talk about hair color for weeks and days and months, and I truly love hair color. And I've won awards, and I have an Icon of Color award, which I'm very thankful to all, for the North American Hairstyling Awards, and the fact they do competitions and things. So I'm thankful for that. But I am a person that loves my craft, and I do hair.
So if, what are your thoughts on, for our younger stylists? We'll talk to them first. So for our newer stylists coming into this industry, what would you share with them the most important thing about education? Like, what made you achieve being that passionate person? What was the core thing that made you achieve your success? And again, guys, success is personal. It could be monetary, it could be emotional, it could be what level you reach in your own personal satisfaction. There's so many different ways to look at it. It's not always about money. So what's your thoughts on what drove you to your personal success? So
I think it was personal goals. I've always I've never been given anything, ever. I've always worked for it, I mean, I've had a great family, mom and dad and stuff like that, brothers, after. But, you know, I always had to work for everything I got. So it's just a natural thing. You know, what's my plan? What do I mean, at 21, I left America with $600 and a suitcase. Sorry, I left England with $600 and a suitcase and moved to England. So moved to America. I'm getting it wrong way around.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's what happens when it was years ago. But I've always had a goal. What is the next goal? What is the next step? So to younger generation, no matter whether it's a goal of their personal life, a goal of their craft or their profession, whatever their goal, you know, you can have both. But to me, you should have a plan. You should have a plan of action. It can, you know, people do New Year resolutions. Well, you should do a New Year plan of action for your career, for your life. You know, you should be coaching yourself. You know, you should have a storyboard, or you should have, you know, a dream board, or a concept of what you visualize. So I've always been like that. So I've always had a plan of action, and I've always had a goal to go towards, but I've set the goals myself.
Yes, that is so powerful. And I agree with you. Same thing, you know, with myself. There's always been a short-term goal, a long-term goal. And I think, you know, being nice to yourself as you reach those goals and what the steps you need to take. So when it comes to education, there's so much overwhelm. Now, I know when you and I started this industry, it was you went live to an event or had someone come to your salon to teach you hands-on. That was it. Nothing else was around. So you had to intentionally show up, and the education was high level, because it was trained educators either from the manufacturers or privately, just depending on who they were. Now there's such an overload. It's technical overload. There's so much stuff available, and a lot of the stuff that's available is not credible. There's people who have YouTube videos, or they're teaching stuff on Instagram. And again, I'm not poo-pooing or criticizing anyone. I'm simply stating facts that are not licensed or credible educators or have the knowledge. So what are your thoughts on that, Sue?
Well, I have mixed feelings.
Okay.
So let's start with the first reaction. My first reaction is I would never show a client how to do their hair. So, you know, I have always said from stage that with this technique, I'm using foils, but basically it's a triangle. Now, I could just take a triangle and paint a triangle in a different color and be done with it, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to foil it so that the client doesn't think, well, just take a triangle and do it in a different color. So for me, I want to keep that person coming to the professional. You know, we've worked really, really hard to get our licenses and to be good at what we do. And I feel that I don't want to show people how to do their hair at home.
Right. And I feel that keeps that elevation of professionalism. It's like, I don't see doctors or dentists. Here, let me show you how you can clean the tartar off your teeth at home. Or let me show you how you can, you know, I don't know, do, you know, open heart surgery or whatever. Things that are absurd. I mean, I don't believe in that. So what do you think is the most important thing for everyone now in our industry? How to differentiate good education from?
Well, how do you differentiate? Well, I don't really know. I think you've got to go with someone that, you know, has the qualifications. You know, I mean, anyone, like you said, can get a computer, set it up and do a video recording. With our new technology, it's great because we can do that. But what you've got to remember is that there's a lot of people out there telling you things that aren't the facts and aren't the why. So it becomes very confusing to people. And that is the last thing we want to do, because the hair color is hard enough anyway for the hairdresser to grasp, and for anybody to grasp, even for me. and I'm
And
a
it can
color
be
specialist.
dangerous too, right? You agree with me. I
Yeah.
mean, some of the things I see on YouTube that people point out to me, I'm like, that's crazy. Like that people would actually do this to someone's hair. So it is dangerous, and along with being complicated.
Yeah, well, it's, a lot of people, they don't want to cut their hair, but it'll grow back. So what's the problem? But what they don't understand, they do these chemicals with high bleachers or whatever it is, or doing an all over bleach, which is a very specialized application. What they don't realize is they won't have a haircut, they'll have a chemical cut. That's what they're going to get, a chemical break off haircut, if it's not done correct. So my first reaction to all this online teaching was that I will never show the consumer how to do hair, because I do believe that it doesn't really matter if you do show the consumer how to do hair, because the consumer could never be a hairdresser, because they don't understand and they've not gone through the training. But the fact that some people are doing that, I don't think it's helpful. I think it's like cutting off your nose to spite your face.
I agree.
You're cutting off the hand that's feeding you, right? If you say it like that. So I think it's a very fine line of how you can use social media. But I do believe social media is very good to attract people, to get people to notice you. But, then you've got people doing haircuts with garden shears, and people doing hair color with a Coke can, or what, I'm saying, it's kind of like, yeah, whatever. It actually degrades our industry more than anything. If it's that kind of jokey stuff. I'm not saying everybody's that, because some people do show good stuff, but it's the jokey stuff. It makes our industry look like we're just stupid.
Yeah, we're lower level. I agree with you.
So that's my initial first instinct, is that. But then my other instinct is, because we've got COVID, and we've been through and still going through, and we still don't know what's going to happen. We could have another breakthrough with another variant that the vaccine doesn't work. So we're in this time of uncertainty in everything. So because of this pandemic, we actually do not know where our industry is going to land. Okay, but what it has done is it has opened up more people being susceptible to online education. And what I've found through my research is, when I've asked people about why are they opposed to online education, what they'll say is that, well, you're not next to the person, or you don't feel connected to the person. And I agree with them to a certain extent, because when you're teaching somebody, you've got to show them an angle like this, because it can make a difference in hair color and cutting. So I agree with that. We still need that little bit of, connection. But I think what I did is I made an online course for professional stylists. And what I did is I made sure that once a week I do a Zoom call and I answer all their questions. So that value alone of having this 1 hour Zoom call once a week is invaluable, because it's like it's not a hotline, but you can ask me, I've got this client coming in, she's da-da-da, I think I'm going to do this, what's your opinion?
That's amazing.
Yeah, I have a private Facebook group where it's only for people who are on the course, so everybody's speaking the same language, and they can post questions and post the work on there. And I can do hands-on workshops even over Zoom, because if I only have 6 people or 12 people, the screen divides into 2. So I can actually see what people are doing, and I can say, stop. Okay, I need you to step one side over. So, you know, or I need you to go to the back of her. So I'm still telling you the same thing. It's just that I'm not physically there, but I am there.
That's a very high touch program. I haven't heard anything like this. I think that is amazing and tremendous value. What's the name of your course again? So anyone, guys, if you're listening on the podcast or you're watching this on YouTube, I'm going to drop everything below or above in the descriptions so you can connect with Sue to her course. You know, just look below or above and you can find all the links to this stuff. So what is the name of your course, Sue? Because I forgot, forgive me.
Well, you can go to suepemberton.com to explore more. But basically it's called the Master Color Series. And I'll tell you what it entails. For 26 years, 30 years, part of my, I mean, I've been doing hair a long time. I told you that earlier. But for 30 of those years, I have traveled around the world for a leading manufacturers on artistic director, right? And I've done everything from in-salon teaching to platform work, to the photo shoots, to going into Europe and training an entire artistic team that then goes out to different places in Europe. And I've done it all. So I'm very connected to the hairdresser globally because I've been out there.
Yes. Yeah.
And for 26 years, not just on a, 2-week course. I've been out there with them for 26 years. And the one thing I learned on my journey was that what hairdressers need to learn in hair color is they need to learn the facts and the whys. And then take those facts and whys and choose the brand you feel works best for you.
I love that.
Okay. So maybe you use a bit of this, or you use a bit of that, or you use this line, you love this line. Does it have all the things you need to do? Now, sometimes what we find is when we go through what you need, the tools you need, as in the shades you need to do corrective color, sometimes you'll find some color lines don't even make the correct shade. So it's like, how can I do corrective color if you don't even make it? Now, you might
that's interesting.
Yeah, you might like that color line, but when it comes down to doing color correction, you don't have the tools you need, but you can go to that line and say to them, I feel your line is missing this because it needs to do like I would, right? So what I wanted to do is I really wanted to I've always wanted to elevate the hairdresser, but I want to elevate them in a way that they have a voice, right? Because it's important for the hairdressers to be telling manufacturers and companies and our industry that provides us with tools like color and like capes and scissors and shears and products and shampoo and conditioner. Or the industry needs to listen to the hairdresser, and they need to listen to what the hairdresser wants, so that the hairdresser can just do their job, right? So a lot of people shy away from corrective color because they don't understand it. My job is to make you feel very comfortable and confident, so you do understand it and you don't shy away from it. You say, come on in, not, oh my God, I've got to do this. You like,
it's like the guesswork, right?
Yeah, take the guesswork out of it. It's no longer there. And then, find a brand that fits into your clientele, of what you're looking for. So the reason I did the course was because working for a manufacturers, they have a certain amount of money to spend on education, obviously. And, their portion of education is to teach you how to use their product. Simple. Okay. And why wouldn't it be? And then if you're a loyal client, you might get an artistic director come into your account. You might go to a VIP show where you're bringing in the big icons to do a show. But you really don't get to be around people like me that trains the team, because even the educators on the team don't get to be around me because I'm training the artists and I'm training globally, worldwide, right? So unfortunately, even when I go to the manufacturer and say I want to teach this, this, and this, fortunately for me, I worked for a manufacturer that listened for many, many years.
That's great.
I was in control, you know, I could say I want to teach this, this, and this. But then it gets to a phase where they only want to, you know, and rightly so, only need to spend so much money for you to be able to understand the product. It's not really left to them to further educate you. It's for you, the hairdresser, to further educate you, you know, and I feel that if the information is out there, then really there's no excuse, right?
You're right.
But the information wasn't out there, right? Because there wasn't the online from what's happened with COVID. So I don't know where it's going to land. But to me, I feel that you used to go to a hair show, like you said, and suddenly you'd sit in the audience and you see an artist and they say something and you're like, that was good. I can't remember what they said. I wrote it down, but all I've got is scribble and I can't remember. And it was so good. What did she say? Right. So what you've got to look at with online education, substantial online education, is that you can rewind it. You can replay it, you can learn it over and over and over. And the best part of learning is you listen, you watch, and you do. And then you'll learn it. And sometimes you have to do it more than once, because the first time you go through it, you pick up on this, this, and this. Second time you go through it, you know this, this, and this. Now you pick up on B, C, D, Z, you know, and then the third time you're picking up on K, L, J, because you didn't hear it the first time. So I think that having it all pre-recorded and there for the person to rewatch and rewind, as long as you have that physical connection of, like in my videos, when I'm teaching on my videos, I'm in a little box. So I'm talking to you. So I'm talking to you now, but I'm talking about hair color. So I'm constantly there watching you. And I can see exactly what people have watched, you know, and where they are on the course. But you know, I can help them. I can mentor them, you know, because they're part of my group. And
it's interactive. I think that's the key. Your program is interactive. So it's like you are present with them and they can connect with you, which to me is fabulous. So fabulous.
Yeah. And because what you got to remember, because the middleman is cut out, then the price can be better, right? Because you've cut out, you know what I'm saying? So I can personally charge wherever I want. It's my course, it's my thing. I have put class formats together for years for a major manufacturer. I certainly know what I'm doing.
Yes.
And I put the entire course together, and I put it together as a protege course. And I just want to touch on this because this is important. You know, I have been around the world. I've done the platform work. I've got the T-shirt. Yeah. Okay. To be honest with you, it wouldn't bother me again if I didn't get on another plane, unless I'm going for vacation, because I've got 150,000 million miles on United. You know, I'm a world round flyer. So to me, I'm not in, you know, I want to be at home. I've traveled 20, 30 years from my house. I've been gone, you know, and I want to be at home. And I want to enjoy my house I've worked for. So my thought process was, I love what do I want to do now? Right?
Yes.
And I decided that I love hair color and I love to share.
Teaching.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I said, well, I love teaching. I love hair color. Don't want to travel. Don't want to pack. Don't want to be going on a plane. I don't like that bit. So how can I do it? Well, I'll go to them. So I'm not going to them physically on a plane. I'm on a video, right? So you've cut out the airfare, you've cut out travel days, you've cut out hotel expense, you've cut out all this, you've paid for a course you can watch again and again and again that has 100+ lessons and 21 demonstrations, I might add. And it's something you can watch over and over and over, and you're getting it for the price of what you would pay for me to come to your salon for a day.
Yeah, it's such a great value. So what are your thoughts, Sue? I mean, I'm sure the course is amazing. I'm going to check it out myself because we're always growing and evolving. And I love the fact that it's interactive, because that just gives so much more support and questions answered. It's just really perfect. I've got a question that sometimes I hear a lot of salon professionals ask, and I'm curious to what your thoughts are. You know, people say, how do I pick a brand of color? So being that you're a color expert, you know, is there any tips, you know, things that people should not be fooled by, things that are important to know when you know, being a great colorist and picking the brand of color, because there is, again, so many choices.
Yeah, well, I can guarantee you, once you've been through my course, you'll know exactly which brands you need to be looking for. But I can't, okay, you've got to look at, number one, does it have all the shades you need in order for you to do corrective color? Because that's where there's a hole. So not in some lines, but in others. So the question you have to say is, does it have what I need to do corrective color? So a simple thing is, okay, you have a client come in, she has a level 6 copper and now she wants to be brown. Well, you need a level 6 blue and orange cancel makes brown. Of course, it's still going to be a warm brown, but you'll make brown. So what you'll find, not all companies, but some companies don't even have a 6 blue.
Yeah, I noticed a lot of companies don't have green anymore. It just doesn't exist anywhere.
Well,
hardly.
You need green because green neutralizes red. So
I know, but so many brands, it's not like, remember, it was more red. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but this is my point. This is the whole point. That these people making decisions at manufacturers that aren't colorists, so they don't understand, well, this don't sell very well. No, because we only use a little bit, but we need it. You know, but it's more of, well, how does it sell? No, it's about providing all the tools I need as a cook to cook a cake.
Right.
You know,
it's chemistry.
Flour. So how am I supposed to cook a cake if I don't have flour? How am I supposed to neutralize orange?
Orange, yeah.
Have a blue base 6. How am I supposed to neutralize red if I don't have a level 6 green? So the color line that you might be using might not even have your tools. So what happens?
I agree.
Your corrective color comes in and she's orange and she's a level 6 and all she needs is to be a brown, and all you need to do is put a 6 blue on with a 10 volume, job done, but you don't have a blue. Now, you put green on orange, you aren't going to get blue. No. Right? You know what I'm saying? So you're already working with a product that doesn't have the tools.
So the trick is here, learn your basics correctly. Like, I'm sure you cover all this in your course. Know the core foundation. That way you can make smart choices in the brands you buy, in what you invest, and then in turn, it's actually their bottom line, the business end of the business. You'll have more revenue because you won't be wasting on nonsense and just kind of, you know, guessing all the time.
You don't have a blue, so then you use a green, but then it don't come out right. So then you've got to put another color on the green that you use because it didn't come out right. So now you've used twice as much color and you've done twice as much time when you could have just done it in 30 minutes.
Yeah. What can I ask you something technical? What are your thoughts on these 10-minute colors? Do you think it's again, this is a personal question I'm asking you. I still own a salon. I'm still behind the chair. I've been playing with them myself. Curious, what are your thoughts?
It depends on the brand. Okay.
Okay.
So there is 10-minute colors out there, and they have a tendency to come out very opaque and very dark, which is great if you're looking for a forehand. Let's just do everybody forehand, you know, put forehand, dark brown on her hair, let it go. Gray's gone, coverage is gone, product done. Most 10-minute colors only make a few shades, so you're very, very limited. There is a brand out there that makes more shades, and it is actually a very, very good brand. And I have used the product, and it comes with, you know, 50 shades or whatever it is. And it really, really does work. And it is a game changer. Right? So there's brands I've used that aren't good, and there's brands I've used that are good. So what do I think about it? I think if you got the right brand, why wouldn't you want to do hair color in 10 minutes?
Yeah, I'm playing with them myself. I love working smarter, not harder. So I think it's a great thing. But I'm testing at the moment. So
yeah. Well, privately, if you want me to tell you the brands that
yes, we can chat afterwards.
I'd be more than happy to do that. You know, and this is the kind of things I do on the course. You know, this is what we talk about. We talk about this kind of stuff, and I give them my opinion, and then somebody else will say they've tried X, Y, Z, or somebody else will say they've tried, you know, B, and then it's like, well, what did you find? You know, and so you know that's what's good about this forum that we have. So yeah, I could tell you which 10-minute color line I like and use.
Okay, that's awesome. So you know, as we're moving along here, I just have some thoughts too. So for our stylists who are looking to really up their game, you know, with everything that's happened, what's the one bit of advice? Because we've had so much turmoil in our industry the past 2 years. It's been really stressful on us, you know, being closed and being open and having client, you know, all this, not depending on what part of the world you're in. And as a salon owner, I could tell you the stress that I see daily. It's hard, and even the mental stress with the conversations, trying to keep people at bay with always going into negative conversations. You know, I'm doing this 36 years. It's never been so draining as it is today. And I'm speaking openly, and I'm not being negative. I'm just speaking what I'm finding to be. Yeah. What's the one powerful piece of advice you would give everyone in the industry right now? Even 2 pieces, whatever, go with the flow, what they need to do.
Take a deep breath and calm down.
Calm the hell down.
Everybody's stressed out and everybody's feeling the COVID pain, and we just got to remember that we're in it deep, and there has to be, we have to start coming out of it. When that's going to be, I don't know, but this is what we have to get used to. So, you know, for me personally, I don't want to travel around the world doing shows, you know, to a big audience that, you know, you got to do your model call, your models, who knows who's got COVID. And to be honest, I'm not prepared to die for it. You know, so for me, it's like, I think that people need to, including myself, you know, it's hard for me because I'm an educator and I teach worldwide. So my job is gone. Yeah.
Well, I'm finding, you know, again, this conversation, I'm finding a lot of, as myself, salon professionals who I started a whole new business 10 years ago as a plan B, you know, sharing my expertise with the world, just like you created your amazing online high-level color education. You know, I'm helping salon professionals grow and scale their businesses on the business end and work on, you know, their personal growth too. So, you know, what you're feeling, I mean, do you feel that it's okay for a salon owner, hairstylist to have a plan B? And do you think there's anything wrong with that? Do you feel like that's a great thing to do, more than one thing?
I think you should always have a plan A, B, and C. Always.
Yes, I think that's a great thing.
I have a plan A, B, and C. You know, my course is there. I hope it takes off. I hope it's successful. I know for a fact when people go through it, they will enjoy it and they will get value out of it. So I hope people, you know, spend the money. They could spend more money on scissors and flat irons and tools. Why wouldn't you spend money on your color education?
Absolutely.
Because I am truly showing you, but I think that everybody should have a plan A, B, and C. But I think for the stylist in the salon, you know, at the moment, you know, you've got cancellations because people are sick. So your income's erratic. There's no stability. You know, it's up and down, but it is for everyone. It's not just hairdressers, it's the world. It's every industry, every business, apart from, you know, if you're government, then you have a job anyway. So it doesn't matter. You still get paid. I wonder if I should go and be a senator. Maybe that's what I should do next. That's my plan B. I'm going to go.
All right, I like it. I'll endorse you, Sue.
So basically, you know, obviously, you know, doctors, they're high demand, but they're high demand and they're working the tushies off, you know, they're working the butts off. So, you know, everybody's feeling it. You are not alone.
I agree.
You are not alone. We are all in this boat.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And the one thing I will say is that we have to unite as humans.
I agree.
Right? We've got to unite as human beings and we have to fight for humanity. That's what we have to do. And we've got to get this sorted before we can move forward. Right? This has to be sorted. But the problem is there's too much politics involved. And this one says you should have a shot. And this one says you should. Just go get the shot so you can move on and live a life. Now, some people might say, well, I don't want to have a shot, you know, or my beliefs or whatever it is. You know, well, I don't think anybody should be told what to do or forced to do things. You've got to think of reality. What is holding us back? COVID. Yeah. How do we get rid of COVID?
Yeah.
We squash it. Yeah. How do we squash it?
Yeah, you're right.
So it's common sense, you know, it's common sense. And I understand people have their beliefs and stuff, but sometimes you got to take one for the team.
Yeah, I know. So I have a quick question. I just thought of something real quick. Your course, is it evergreen? Like, if I wanted to sign up tomorrow or next week or 6 weeks, is it constantly like, or is it a begin date and an end date? Or is it just like constantly you can just join whenever you'd like?
Okay, well, what happens is you join up and there's 3 modules and there's 100 lessons, 21 demonstrations. So it starts off with the basic chemistry. So what I wanted to do, because there's 3 modules, it starts with chemistry, you know, understanding corrective color, major corrective color. And then it goes into placement and foil placement and lifting. And then it goes into shading and color harmony. And it goes into artistic work. And that's module 3. So what I did with the course is when somebody purchases it, I don't want them to go to number 3 and start reading all this about color harmony because you don't understand 1 yet.
Right.
Right. So what I did is with the course, when you purchase the course, every 7 days, a new segment opens. So
it's like a drip.
Jump around. Right. And the reason I've done that is because I'm trying to teach you a protege course. It is a course. If I took you under, if you said, Sue, I want you to teach me hair color, I would say, then go through the course, right? This is how I would teach you. right?
I love it.
But I've filmed it and recorded it all. And then once you've been through the course, then it's like, now you could start talking on a different level with me, because we're talking in the artistic arena, and we're talking in a different arena to what we are in the beginning. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Well, I shouldn't say we're talking in a different arena. We understand the same language.
Yes, the same language.
Right.
The communication's clear, the foundations are clear. It's like they work through the pillars, and now you can have a different conversation, which I absolutely love.
I
absolutely love.
So it opens up after 7 days, then you get another segment, and then 7 days later you get another segment, then 7 days later you get another segment, and then module 2 opens, and then module 3. And I have designed it to give the right amount of information that you can, you know, I've not done it so, okay, this segment is 4 hours long, and you sat there going, oh God, when am I going to get through this segment? I've done it as in, look, here's a 1 hour segment, you know, or it could be 45 minutes, but here's what you need to know about this. You know, you've heard about it, use it, but do you really know what you need to know and what you don't need to know?
Right. So there's small nuggets that all compile. I think it sounds amazing.
Yeah. So, and it goes all the way to artistry. So in order for you to do the course, I do 7 days because you're working in the salon. So, you know, if you wanted it to just all open up, I could arrange that, but I think I can, but I've done it so it drips. And ideally what you do, you go through your 7 days or the segments, and then you get on Zoom and you talk to me, you know, and you say, okay, this bit, can you explain this bit again? Or can you, I have a question on this. I was told, blah, 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 blah. What, you know, and I'll say to you, well, what's this? And a lot of times I'm pulling it out of the person. So what I'll say to them is, well, what's your opinion on it? You know, okay, so how would you, okay, so you're answering your own question, aren't you?
Yeah.
So it's not only a course of knowledge, it's a course of elevation. It's a course of giving confidence or building more confidence, because I know we all want confidence.
And self-reflection, you know, absorbing and then self-reflecting what they learned.
Yeah. And, you know, how do you talk with clients, and how do you, because a lot of people will say to me when they see me do a model call or a client consultation, they'll say, God, you always get people to do what you want. How do you do that?
Clear communication. Well, you have
how do I do it is I know what I'm talking about. That's why how I do it. And when I talk to the client, they know I know what I'm talking about.
I love that.
Why aren't they going to listen to me? Right. So yeah, so basically, you know, that's how the course works. And eventually I might make a module 4, 5, and 6. But what I thought was, well, let's get this going first and see what people want. Because unfortunately too, and I have to say this, a lot of, some people, like for me, I've done shows for forever, right? And I'll go into a territory and the number one thing I get is, well, my clients won't wear that. And I say to them, well, wait a minute. Model, come here. Where do you live? I live so-and-so. Where do you live? So-and-so. Here you go. You got a client.
Well, that's limiting mindsets. That's that limiting thought.
Yeah,
you know.
That will do it. But the point I'm making is the reason clients don't do it is because you don't introduce it and don't communicate it.
I agree. I agree. People say yes to almost everything you introduce to them if they trust you and know you know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Of course they'll say yeah. If you say to somebody, nobody sits in your chair and you sit down and say, okay, today I want you to make me look 10 years older, please. Yeah,
no, you're right.
Who does that? Or please make me ugly today.
I agree with you. So I have to be honest with you. It's really inviting them in for a transformation, sharing your knowledge. And that's so powerful.
Yeah. Well, and, you know, even a simple thing, like I'll give you a little tip. One of the things I always say is that, what you should be doing is building a storyboard for the client. So for example, go onto Pinterest and build a board for your client. How many salons do you go in where you have your stylist is building a storyboard for you of what color and cut you should have?
No, I never heard of that. I think that's brilliant.
Right. So if you're a stylist and you're going to a salon where they're doing that, wouldn't you feel, wow,
Important.
yeah, right?
Yeah.
When you go for a restaurant, and all you've got to do is you've got to say, when you go out and you spend your money, what do you expect? Quality. Right? You expect, you don't mind paying for it.
Exactly.
If you're on a budget, if you get what you're supposed to get.
Yeah.
So what we've got to do is, that comes to raising your prices and
elevating your whole craft.
I mean, you've got to say, we'll talk about prices since I've already talked. You've got to say to yourself, I always say, how much do you want to make by the hour? Right? Other people work on an hourly wage. Why don't we?
Yeah.
So I do. I work on an hourly wage, but you've also got to say, where are you in your career? Are you at the beginning of your career, end of your career, middle of your career? Even if you're at the end of your career, I mean, me personally, I would never be at the end of my career. I'm always going to be doing something to do with hair color. But, you've got to say to yourself, well, if I want, some people say, well, I'm bored. Then change it.
Yeah.
Right.
We have a choice. We have a choice to change. I say every day, you can change up what you're offering. You change up your whatever. You can change everything. It's a choice.
Yeah. But what you've got to remember is it will not be handed to you on a silver platter. It will not, somebody will not come and say, there you go, here's a successful business. And here's a lot of money that you're going to make, because you have to work for it. You have to work for anything you do in life. Anything.
Absolutely.
You don't think I have not worked to have the knowledge that I have?
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah, we've worked very hard. I know. I agree with you. And people will say all the time, like, oh, well, I want what you have. Well, I invested in myself and I put the time in, and that's. So again, the message I put out there for any stylist, I don't care where you're at, you really have to have vision. And again, put in the work and have a clear vision of where you're going, what you're doing. And another tip I always share is in my, one of my business strategies is, and I do it myself, I love going to other salons for a blowout. I love getting my hair blown out because I have curly hair. And I learned so much from that. I learned what I can do better. And I learned what I absolutely don't want to do. And it keeps you grounded. And I just think it's so important to even go out of your city sometimes and really visit other salons and sit in that chair. Don't just sit in your own chair in your salon getting your hair done, because it really allows you to awaken to what could be better and to what you need to improve. And you'll learn. It's such a powerful learning experience. Again, that's what I feel.
Yeah, I agree with you. You've just got to say, what do you want? And you've got to work towards your goals. You can do, okay, I want to tell you this story because I think this is good. And it's talking about what we're talking about. I did a big hair show. I forgot which one it was, somewhere. I can't remember where it were, but I did a hair show. And of course I'm backstage. And I've got this young student who's a hairdresser student, and she looks at me and she goes, and I said, hello. And she said, hi, right. And I said to her, how you doing? Have you been working hard? So I started talking to her, because I always talk to people if they're being like that. And she said to me, I've always wanted to assist you. And I said to her, I said, well, you are now. And I also said to her, and if you want something and you work hard to get it, you will get it. And if you want to assist me, you will make it happen.
Yeah, I agree with you.
And I said to her, why don't you give me your phone number after? But the point I'm making is that I want to tell people this too, because this is important. Younger generation and stylists think that sometimes, you know, people like Nicholas French and Philip Wilson and Damien and Vivian, they think that we're not approachable, or they think that we're untouchable, as in they're scared to talk to us.
Mm-hmm.
We are you. We are a hairdresser. We love hair. That's it. We're
Yes.
nobody special. We just happen to like doing what we do, right? We are very approachable people. You'll find the top icons of our hair industry are so passionate and so humble about their work.
Yes.
There is no ego at
Yes.
all.
Well, you can see that by, if you take a few moments and you look at all the guests I've had on my podcast, they're all, to me, you know, again, icons, amazing people who in the beginning, I was that person. I'm like, they're going to answer me. Every single person answered me. No one has ever said no.
Oh.
And the relationships and the amazing energy and what I've learned from people, just getting to know them on a personal level, has been a game changer. This is one of the most powerful things I've gained from my podcast and meeting all amazing people. So we have to wind down because time is going against us here. So
Yeah.
Sue, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Once again, to me, I'm like a little kid in a candy store. I'm like that girl who wanted to assist you. I am honored that you took the time to speak to all the beautiful hairdressers and salon professionals globally. And I just want to thank you from the bottom of your heart for spending time with me today.
Absolutely. Anytime, any subject, as long as color's involved and it's our industry, I'm in. So anytime you want a conversation, I appreciate it. I could talk for much longer, as you can see. And well, I'm sure you could too.
I could. Well, I want to thank you so much, guys. Everyone listening or watching, make sure that you check out Sue's links below or above this video or in the podcast, and check out her online course, which is not an online course. It's an interactive, highly powerful, educational, and transformational color. It's interactive. Listen, it's like you're hiring Sue one-on-one. That's a freaking game changer. So I would suggest you guys look into that and connect with both of us online. Thank you so much for listening. Looking forward to seeing you guys again. Thanks, Sue. Love you.